All right, we're live. I look a lot better now. Spoiler alert, it was the Spectrum that still isn't good in my area. Facebook is stupid. Never stream it, do it again. Oh boy, does that use up bandwidth. Mike, go ahead.
All right, we are on the obligatory beach episode called, this is episode 12. Yoko, will you do me a favor? On their way to Teplin, the Beastman's capital city, Team Gurren stumbles upon a vast ocean and must wait for modifications on the Gurren to be completed before crossing it. While the rest of the group play at the beach, Yoko starts to feel uneasy about Nia and all the attention she gets from them. After preparations are complete, Team Gurren begins their sea cruise, oblivious to the fact that an ambush is underway by Adine and Viral.
It's always Viral.
It's always Viral.
Viral has become Team Rocket at this point.
Accurate.
Go ahead.
So I told Brock this off air. This is probably one of the most convoluted setups to a beach episode that I've seen in a while.
You're not wrong. Wow, you're not wrong. That was the first time I ever saw that ship. I was like, oh, cool. So they could just go out on water right away. And then Leron's like, no, we have to make it airtight. I'm like, it's a ship with legs. What do you need to do?
I mean, can't they at least like raise the body up more? Like make like those kind of adjustments, but nope. They had to airtight the ship apparently.
The one land-based guy had a walking ship. No, I'm sorry. One of the two land-based guys had a walking ship that can't go in water. And from the sounds of it, at the end of this episode, we'll get to it later, he was involved, I've always come to the conclusion of, with the one water-based person. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Your main crux of your thoughts.
The main crux of my thoughts are this episode is a lot less fillery than I imagined.
Mm-hmm.
I went in expecting like the stereotypical beach episode, but then I remembered, wait, this is Gurren Lagann. something has to happen.
Yep.
I'm glad though that Adine was the big bad of this episode, because ocean, her gimmick is water. It adds up.
Exactly. It's just another way to check another stereotype from an anime off the list, because they almost all get crossed off by the end.
At the end of this, we might have to make a Gurren Lagann bingo card.
We might have to. That would actually be pretty funny. Oh man, I might do that after we're done with today. I'll try and think of. Well, that wouldn't be very easy for me. You should make one because I know what happens. We'll just make a Gurren checklist of stereotypes completed. Against other animes, because I already know of 3 more that we can check off just off the top of my head. But those are spoilers, so I can't say them. But yeah, I like how they barely ever have filler, but they have the filler that's needed. It's like beach episode, 2 minutes, and then before we get too far from it, again, I was like, it's a ship. Okay, we need to airtight it. All right, they need to make progress. Cool, whatever. Beach episode, everyone slow turn the camera immediately to Yoko. I'm like, she's wearing less than that already. What are you excited about? And then all of a sudden they actually bring that up and they're like, she's wearing more than what she normally does. I'm like, thank you so much. Someone said it.
The writers are too smart for this genre. They know like they know what we're thinking, and they know what probably their bosses are thinking as well.
Exactly. I believe it was Pat Boytvane from two best friends. They're in the middle of their Evil Within 2 playthrough. He's like, when the writers are smart, when they say the thing you're about to say, but they somehow say it on screen. Yeah. And it just and their modifications, other than making it airtight, are a big fucking oar and
That's what I love. I love how like outside of like the ore and making it airtight, like it's like they barely even did anything.
Exactly. They didn't do a damn thing. And you could tell they weren't prepared to fight anything, because it's just like, all right, they get attacked, obviously, and you get to see I wrote it down, the Gunkin, which I thought is pretty cool. It's basically a giant death lobster shrimp Cthulhu thing. It's just in the water. And any attempt to attack it, they can't work. What are our depth charges? Just lobbing bombs off the bow and hoping they make contact. But we also find out, obviously, that the gunmen aren't meant to go in water. It's literally just Seirun and the Gunkin that can go in water, and and Gurren, obviously, because Gurren has its self-healing, self-keeping everything together. But yeah, that
let's be honest. Gurren has main character powers.
It does. You will see more of it, but look up I believe it's on Watch Mojo. I stopped watching Watch Mojo because it tends to dang, it's a lot of focus. That's fine. It tends to get a little bit they did a list on the top 10 most OP mechs of all time, and Gurren topped that list by the end of this series by a country mile when they start going through all the things that it does. Like, you even see that even in this episode and the one after it. You obviously see what it's all capable of, and that's just the start of the list. But yeah, anyway, Gurren's our special boy. It can do what it needs to.
It's all because of that damn drill.
It is. It's all it is. Fighting spirit. Oh yeah, but there's not a lot to this episode, actually, though.
Yeah, this is another one where it's pretty divided between like the filler stuff and the action.
Yeah.
But there's a character that we didn't really talk about, Nia.
Oh, we did not. Yeah, well, there's still stuff to get to, but we will speak about Nia, because Nia gets good set up, and something about Simone gets good set up in this episode. But go ahead.
I mean, the one thing in this episode is that all the guys are completely infatuated with her. Even when she's even wearing more than Yoko's usual outfit.
Yep.
But they're all too obsessed with her that like nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's Keaton that says, you take away all that the guns, everything, what she's got left. I'm made aware of that, damn it. Oh yeah, and then she gets that leads to one of the best moments with Nia in it, which I will let you talk about.
Oh, right. Probably one of the best moments that Nia and Yoko share, where she says like, "Oh, see, like, well, there's a couple of them. One is when she says like, "Oh, don't worry, Simone will have a plan," and Yoko's like, "How do you know that?" "I just know." And then they pay that off with a great scene where Nia is held captive, because of course she is.
Yep.
And Yoko is left with only one option: shoot Nia, or everyone dies. She does that, but it turns out Yoko's a really good shot. and that's how they defeat Adine.
Master with a rifle, one might say. Leading up to this moment, though, I have to say, I'm so glad that we got to get, and it's off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it's called. I believe it's Hell with Gatai, the basically Simone and Communist theme comes cranking back. I love that music so much. And when he's just like, I don't have time to screw with you anymore, and he drills through the water after he bites her ankle off and like kicks her away, and the fact that Adine tries to call their bluff where it's like, you wouldn't fire upon your own ship at this angle. We hit each other. You're not stupid enough to do that. Oh, we're very stupid. And Attenborough finally fire all the cannons.
But this is probably the best use of Attenborough.
He finally gets to do it. But what you said with the great setups with Nia, and we won't forget about the last one because it's basically the last scene in this episode. We get to start to show that now that Simone fully realizes that he can be a badass on his own, you do not fuck with Simone. Viral comes up for 2 seconds to try and save her and goes, no, not happen. And in one attack, KOs her entire command ship. Just done. It's just like, no, you sit your ass down. She's dead. You put hands on me. She ain't leaving.
Yeah, I'm really starting to like Simone now that he's gotten his shit together.
Oh, it's just, it takes a little bit for people to get their confidence, but when they finally have people backing them, you would be amazed what they do. And he doesn't even call it an attack either. He just gets a drill and then just jumps down the thing's throat. He just arcs that thing. And, it's the best. But, I'm sorry. I'm having a sore throat all day. But the one last really good moment with, what was I going to say? Oh, no, before we get out of here, I have to tell you, this is the first episode where, speaking of music, you get to hear... I can't remember the last time we heard it, but one thing that the show does that's really cool is that there's 2 main songs in the show that get repeated a lot. There's a sad version and a happy version. The happy version is called Rap is a Man's Soul, and the other one is Lieber Me from Hell. In this episode, you got to hear the next part of the evolution in the song where they started adding the little bit more rappy details. It was right when Attenborough kicks them off the shore and they start riding the wave. And that little bit, that was more added on to another track without the raps that has been without the beats in it that has been in the show. And then eventually that thing gets lyrics. Like they literally have a song that adds up and it grows up with Simone kind of. It's really cool.
Oh, is that gonna pay off at like towards the end?
Oh, it pays off multiple times. It's just a song they use for when he's fighting, and it's the fucking best.
I gotta say, I really like the soundtrack to this show. It works.
Yeah, I can't say there's a track I don't like. That's like normally there's always one where I'm kind of like in a show because I'm not a huge music lover, but I love music. This is one where I'm just like every time I'm like, no, that fits perfect. You knew exactly what you were doing. Gainax to me, when they make shows, you're not a video game player, but anyone who watches this that are. To me, the best video game soundtrack that was ever made is the soundtrack to Anarchy Reigns. It is a fighting game, like a brawler, made by Platinum Games. Platinum Games makes the best damn soundtracks in any video game period, and I will fight anyone that wants to say otherwise. Pretty sure Kiona and anyone that on our gaming groups would agree. They are nuts when it goes to it. But like Gainax in here is platinum levels of freaking amazing with their music choices.
They are. They really are.
Oh, I cannot wait until the first time you hear Lieber Me from Hell. You are going to love it. And every time it hit, their mood setters, that and Rap is a Man's Soul are their 2 main mood setters when season 2 comes up. And it's the best moments ever whenever they play them because they only use them when they're needed. It's so good. But yeah. Anyway, we also got to see another revisiting from Gramps yet again. And he made the one noise he's made so far. Ah, God.
It's good to see Gramps again.
It is. He always has his one little moments. But I assume you're very happy that Viral still did not die.
He's a cockroach. You can't kill him.
But oh boy, we'll get to talk about Viral all I know you want to when we get in this next episode.
Yeah, I have quite a bit to say about Viral for the next episode.
I'm quite excited. All right. But yeah, and then really only last thing was that we had more awesome Nia. Nia's just the best. She asked her to cut her hair, and it was one of the sweetest things ever. And everyone gets to watch on and be like, oh, they get along now. Isn't that cute? She just, they have every moment whenever they need to do something, they have a character that can encapsulate it. They have nothing missing. It's just,
yeah. If you only had to take one thing away from this episode, it would be that now Nia and Yoko have a bond.
Yes, exactly. The guy, I believe the guy even says that in the. Yeah, he says that in the opening. To the next one, he's like, and now Nia, and he basically says, and now they are friends. That's all the recap really is. like that in the recap for the next episode is even more important than like freaking Adine being taken down. Like, it gives more significance than that than Adine dying.
Thanks, narrator, for doing my job.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, I suppose I do have to ask again, which I don't know what it would be, but is there anything you would change?
Honestly, I think the only thing I would change is nope, I can't because
yes.
I can't because if I say my reason is, well, I wish they had a less convoluted reason to set up the beach episode. Well, you can't, because the reason they had the beach episode is because Leron's like, we gotta make these adjustments to the ship.
Yep. Yeah, I get you. It's one of the shows where it's like, that reasoning was really stupid. Oh yeah, exactly. Yep, you're good. It's one of the few times where they're like, we get it. It's dumb.
I'm sure even that conversation's come up in the writer's room. Like, this idea is really stupid. Yeah, and
just keep going. We don't care. It's like, we'll see one of the biggest versions of that in the entire show in this next episode. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh God, I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh yeah. All right. There wasn't a lot of conversation in this one, guys. There wasn't much to it. Adine dies. Nia got a haircut. They made it across the ocean. That matters. There wasn't a lot to talk about. All right. Unless you got more you want to talk about, there was not a lot to this episode.
Yeah, I'm good. We got the stuff out of the way.
All right. Cool. All right, Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Captain K42. Go to letterboxd.com/CoachK42 for all my quick thought reviews. And find me in all the various Facebook groups at my name. Check out Renegade Pop Culture on Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Check out their Facebook group and look for all their podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And last but not least, check out renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Yes. Renegadepopculture.com, of course, is where they are uploading these as well. Very awesomely of them. Love those guys. And probably going to be a staple because me and Mike have been discussing off camera and we've got plans for a while to keep on doing this. So, and they'll be recorded well before this is even out. So we might have like a season or two of like stuff done before this thing's done. Because at one episode a week, we're going to have content for ages.
Mm-hmm.
If we get too far ahead, I might start doing 2 episodes a week of the dumpster dating shows just to keep it up. But we'll see how it goes from there. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, this YouTube channel, Twitch. I have a Facebook group, but I was going to start putting cosplay stuff on there. But the world shut down, so I can't do that. So you can also find me in a lot of the Renegade Pop Culture podcasts, which we were doing a lot of talking about some future stuff right around probably November, where some stuff might start coming out. We need to do it first, but we have plans. So Thank you, everybody at Ren Pop Culture, for being awesome to me. Thank you, Mike, for always being great as always. I love you, everybody. Spin on, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.